Most people imagine animal translation like this. A dog barks, a machine listens, and a little screen says, "I am hungry." It feels simple, almost too simple. Because when humans talk about translating animal speech, we usually imagine animals are secretly speaking tiny versions of human language. A cat is saying, "Leave me alone." A dolphin is saying, "Hello, friend." A whale is singing some ancient poem across the ocean. But here is the strange part. The biggest problem may not be that animals are too simple to translate. It may be that they are too different. A dog does not only speak with sound, it speaks with smell, posture, eye contact, tail movement, distance, memory, and timing. A whale does not live in our world of hands, roads, kitchens, and words. It lives in pressure, darkness, echoes, and miles of ocean. So the real question is not, can we translate animal speech? The real question is, can humans ever understand a mind that was built for a completely different world? And surprisingly, we may be closer than ever. For a long time, humans assumed animal sounds were mostly emotional noises. A bark meant excitement, a growl meant danger, a bird call meant alarm. Useful, but not language. That idea was comfortable because it kept humans at the center. We had language, animals had signals. But then researchers started listening more carefully. Prairie dogs, for example, do not just scream predator. Their alarm calls can carry information about the kind of predator. To a human ear, it may sound like a tiny squeak. To another prairie dog, it may be closer to a warning label. Danger, from the air, moving fast. That is not Shakespeare, but it is not random noise either. Dolphins give us an even stranger clue. Bottlenose dolphins use signature whistles that carry identity information. In simple terms, a dolphin can have a sound pattern linked to who it is. Not exactly a human name, but close enough to challenge old assumptions. And then there are sperm whales. Sperm whales communicate with patterns of clicks called codas. These clicks are not random. They have rhythm, they have timing, they have variation. Some researchers believe these patterns may carry social information inside whale groups. That does not mean we have found whale English, but it does mean something important. Animal communication has layers, and humans have only been hearing the surface. This is where AI enters the story. AI is very good at finding patterns humans miss. Give it enough sound, movement, and context, and it can begin to notice hidden structure. It might discover that one whale click pattern appears during reunion, another when calves are nearby, and another when the group is moving together. It might connect a dog's bark not just to sound, but to the dog's body posture, facial expression, distance from the owner, and what happened right before the bark. This is why the dream feels possible now. Not because AI is magic, because AI can listen at a scale no human can. A scientist may study a few hundred calls. A machine can scan millions. A human may miss a tiny change in rhythm. A machine can compare that rhythm across years, across families, across entire populations. But here is the problem. Pattern is not the same as meaning. Imagine an alien recording humans from above. It hears one phrase again and again. "What's up?" Sometimes people say it when they meet. Sometimes they say it when something is wrong. Sometimes they say it when they are angry. Sometimes nothing is actually up. If the alien translates it as object above head, it would be technically logical and completely wrong. Animal translation has the same problem. A sound does not carry meaning alone. Meaning lives in context. Who made the sound? Who heard it? What happened before? What happened after? Was the animal hungry, afraid, playful, dominant, injured, lonely, or protecting a baby? Without that context, AI may produce something that sounds convincing but is false. A whale translator could say, "I miss my family," when the real meaning is closer to "move with me," or "I am here," or "stay close," or something no human sentence can express. This is the biggest trap, forcing animal minds into human words. Because animals may not divide reality the way we do, humans have words for yesterday, money, promise, shame, and maybe. These words exist because human life is built around memory, planning, rules, and social imagination. A dog may understand routine, emotion, territory, smell, attention, and trust more deeply than we do. But it probably does not have a word for career. A bat may experience the world as moving echoes. A bee can communicate direction through dance. An octopus may think with a body that feels almost distributed, with arms that explore and react in ways that seem partly independent. So when we ask, can animals talk? We may be asking the wrong question. They already communicate. The harder question is whether human language is flexible enough to describe what their communication actually means. Because maybe a whale does not have a sentence for, I feel sad. Maybe it has a pattern that means social contact is needed, group distance is too large, calf nearby, movement should slow. Maybe a dog is not saying, I am angry. Maybe the signal is, familiar human present, expected routine broken, barrier in the way, frustration rising. That sounds less magical than a talking animal, but it may be more honest. Because understanding animals does not require turning them into tiny humans. It requires learning what their signals do inside their world. And this changes the meaning of the whole question. Maybe the goal is not to have a conversation with the dolphin about the weather. Maybe the goal is to know when a whale is calling its family, when an elephant is warning its herd, when a bird is stressed by a city, or when a pet is not being stubborn, but overwhelmed. In that sense, animal translation may become less like Google Translate and more like empathy with evidence. It may not give us perfect sentences. It may give us better probabilities. Not, the dog said he hates you, but this dog is showing stress, avoidance, and uncertainty. Not, the whale is singing a love song, but this sound pattern appears during social reunion. And that difference matters, because a bad translation can be dangerous. If humans believe they fully understand animals, we may become even more arrogant. We may imagine every bark, click, cry, and gesture can be flattened into human language. But a good translation could make us more careful. It could change how we design cities, how we treat pets, how we protect oceans, and how we understand intelligence itself. For most of history, humans treated animals as silent creatures living beside us. Then science showed they were signaling, remembering, choosing, grieving, warning, teaching, and sometimes even naming. The forest was never quiet. The ocean was never empty. The house pet staring at you from across the room was never just making noise. We may never hear a cat say, I respect you deeply, but I prefer the box. We may never hold a perfect conversation with a whale. But that may not be failure, because the real breakthrough may not be when animals finally speak like us. It may be when humans finally learn how to listen without making ourselves the center of the translation.